Today I want to talk with you about some of the most common mistakes that I see new entrepreneurs make when they're just getting started with their business. And no, this is not going to be a list of all the legal things that people do wrong. I've done a number of videos about that. This is going to be practical, real world, what people are doing wrong when they're just getting started with their business. So if you find yourself as a new entrepreneur, you want to pay attention. Hey, my name is Jim Hart. I am a trademark lawyer and I deal with a lot of entrepreneurs. I deal with people that are just getting started with their business. I deal with people that are CEOs of companies that are making millions of dollars, and I deal with everybody in between to help them protect their intellectual property, specifically their trademarks. And so today what I really want to talk with you about are some of the mistakes that, I hate to say it, I see people make when they fall on the beginning edge of the entrepreneurial spectrum. So these are people who are just getting started, they've got a business idea, maybe they've always worked a job for their entire life, or maybe they can't find a job right now, so they're trying to do something as kind of a side hustle. And they're trying to get started, but I see them make so many of these mistakes all the time, and so I want to kind of talk about these. And if you recognize yourself as making some of these mistakes, then it could be, gut check time for you to try and figure out whether or not it really makes sense for you to pursue this entrepreneurial venture that you have in mind. And hey, Bo, come here, I told you. Okay, all right. Why don't you sit with me? We'll do this together. Because honestly, this is a big deal. I mean, if you make a lot of mistakes with your business when you're just getting started, you're just wasting a lot of time and money. And if you're better suited to go get a job somewhere, then you're wasting a lot of time that you could be using to go and find a job. So I know a lot of you think that this entrepreneurial idea, this idea of being an entrepreneur is something that you really crave, but honestly, entrepreneurship isn't for everyone, and don't shoot me for that. Don't shoot what's the phrase? Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just trying to be real with you. From my experience as an entrepreneur, number one, having been an entrepreneur for 17 years or so, from my experience dealing with a lot of business owners and entrepreneurs during the scope of my work as a trademark lawyer. You didn't need cat litter today, did you? Not quite sure how to respond to that, are you? The first mistake I see people make is that they don't have a business plan. And I'm not talking about you have to sit down and write a 50-word thesis about what it is that you plan to do. It would be smart if you at least took a little bit of time and wrote down, open up a Word document and just talk about what it is that you're planning for your business. How do you plan to make money? What is the product you're gonna sell? What's the value proposition? Who are you gonna sell your products to? What is your brand about? What are you trying to do with your business? Because I feel like a lot of people, they just kind of wing it and they don't really have any idea what their business plan is or what their monetization model is going to be. They just kind of think, okay, I'm gonna do this. And they call me up and they wanna set up an LLC and they wanna do their trademarks and they want some contracts and they want all these things, but they really don't have an idea of how they're even gonna make money. Probably the worst situation is they do all this and they can't afford to hire a lawyer, or they're resistant to hire a lawyer because they don't have a plan. So it's really important that you, at least at the very beginning stages, and again, this doesn't have to be like 50 or 100-page document. It can be a very simple business plan that basically just lays out what it is you're trying to do, how you're gonna make money, what you're gonna sell, who you're gonna sell to, those type of things. If you get that in place, you're gonna be ahead of 99% of other entrepreneurs that are out there, because most people don't do this. So that's number one. You okay still? Good? Okay. All right, number two is that you are undercapitalized. And I know this seems silly, but I see it all the time from people. They come to me and they want free advice. I get people to comment even on these YouTube videos about how they just want me to help them out this one time. But yeah, I see so many people that are undercapitalized and they can't afford to hire legal help. You wanna get down? Because here's the thing about money. If you don't know how you're going to buy, food for your family for the next week, or how you're gonna pay your rent payment, or how you're going to take care of your basic life necessities because you don't have, 2 cents to rub together in your bank account, then you probably shouldn't be out there starting a business. When you start a business, it is not a get-rich-quick scheme, right? It is not something where you're gonna go from nothing to, you know, $1 million a month overnight. That's just not going to happen. In a lot of these cases where you hear about people, or maybe you've heard some podcasts where people have been on there, they've talked about how they went from nothing to, you know, doing really well. A lot of times those people, there's a story to that, right? They've been working on nights and weekends while they're working another job and building that business in the back end, so that when they finally do launch and they end up quitting their job. Sorry, my battery died, so I forget where I was there, but I think what I was talking about is for people who, those overnight success stories, they're really people who have been building a business for 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, years before they finally reach the point of success, before they finally reach that tipping point, as Malcolm Gladwell, I believe, said. If you're just getting started and you don't have, you know, 2 cents to rub together, then my recommendation is you really need to get a job. You know, ideally it'd be a job that's flexible, that's gonna give you the time that you need to build your business in the back end, but you really need to have a way to have that money coming in so that you can do that. Or maybe you have a spouse or partner who can help you to basically support you as you're building your business. So whatever it is, whether it's you've got money in the bank, or you've got a job that can support you, or you've got another person who can help support you while you're building your business, you need a way to be able to pay the bills, because it's gonna take you, you know, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months to build this business to where you're actually not just making money, but making a profit from it. All right, the third mistake I see people make, entrepreneurs in particular, when they're just getting started, is they don't recognize their own limitations. And this one is gonna sound really shitty, but it has to be said. There are people out there, and unfortunately you probably don't know who you are if this is you, who just don't have what it takes to be an entrepreneur. You think you have what it takes to be an entrepreneur, but you just don't. And I talk to people like this on calls, and it really, you know, I struggle with this because it's not something you really can tell somebody, but it's something that, you know when you're talking to them that they really don't have what it takes to be successful, and they're probably never going to be successful at this. It's kind of like that it factor that you just have to have. And whether it's smarts, or the ability to talk to people and be social, or the ability to understand what you can and can't do in terms of the legal aspects of your business, whatever it is, if you don't have that ability in your brain, it's gonna be really hard for you to be successful in business. And I would say that the deck is pretty much stacked against you at that point. So yeah, I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news, but some people, you just don't have it. I'm sorry. The next one, number 4, I see this a lot. And this comes from people that are very well-intentioned, but chances are afraid to take the next step to move their business forward, to move their venture forward. And that is that people waste time on things that really don't matter, right? I mean, and I'm guilty of this. I've done this, when I was first starting my law practice, I did this. You waste time and money on things that just are not going to move the needle for your business. So if you're building some sort of professional service-based business like I am, you waste a lot of time on Google ads and Facebook ads and doing things that, yes, they're going to help your business. But if you just spend some time going to lunch with people and trying to build a referral network, it would help your business that much more. And this is especially true for people in the, in the wake of the pandemic, because during the pandemic, we couldn't meet with people. And all our meetings were happening over Zoom. People almost forgot how to be social. Business is about relationships. And if you think that you're just gonna go online and you're gonna build a business and you're gonna build a website and it's gonna be making you money in just a couple weeks or a couple days, that's just not the way it works. Chances are you're going to need to, at some level, connect with people. And whether that's to build referral relationships, whether that's to network with other people who can help you with your business, whether it's, whatever it might be. That's something that I see a lot of people They just don't want to be social and do those things that they have to do. So they're wasting time, trying to develop a logo, or they're wasting, weeks setting up an LLC, something that could be done in an afternoon if they just hired a lawyer to do it. If you're wasting time on a lot of things, if you're listening to this and you're like, yeah, I've been, trying to set up my LLC for the last month and I'm still not there yet, then chances are you're wasting time on things that are not really pushing your business forward. You just have to take action. You've got to do things. And a lot of times that involves building relationships with other people. Again, like I said, I'm just as guilty of this as anyone. I have made these mistakes in my own law practice, and it's something I'm trying to push through. There you go. That's another mistake I see people make all the time. The next mistake that I see people make is that they don't get professional advice. Or alternatively, they do get professional advice and then they ignore it. So if you're wondering and really by professional advice, I'm not talking about a lawyer like me. I'm talking, chances are you probably need some sort of business coach or somebody else on a professional level that can help you, because the people that are most successful are the people that invest in their relationships with these other people that can help them move their business forward. Whether that means you hire a lawyer to help you with the legal aspects of your business, or that means you hire a coach to help you with marketing and strategy, or whether that means you hire an ad consultant to help you run your ads correctly so that you're not wasting a lot of time and money on those. Whatever it might be that you need, whether that's an accountant to help you save some money on taxes once you do start making revenue. Whatever it is, it's really important that you invest in those professional relationships and not take them for granted. I'll give you another example, and of course I'm somewhat biased on the legal aspects, but a lot of times I do these brand strategy calls with people where I talk to them about their trademarks and what they're looking to do. I get on a lot of calls with people where they have an idea and I will tell them, I'll be straightforward. I'll be like, listen, this sounds like a great idea, or this does not sound like a great idea. And some people listen to that advice and some people don't, but especially when it comes to not having a great idea. I mean, I've seen a lot of businesses, there's business ideas that are good and there's business ideas that make you shake your head and think, no, I don't think anyone's ever gonna buy that. But people still want to do it. And so if you have multiple people telling you that you've got a bad business idea, and usually they won't be so direct as to say that it's a bad idea, but what they will say is, no, that sounds like a great idea, not something I would probably invest in, but it sounds like a good idea. If you hear that a lot over and over, then chances are you might want to rethink either A, who you're talking to, because maybe it's just your wrong market, or B, whether it is you really do have a business that could be profitable. So listen to professional advice, listen to advice from friends and family. Let me check that again. Friends and family, maybe good, maybe bad. It depends on what their life experience is. I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, listen to people, talk to people, get other people's takes on what you're doing. Make sure that it sounds like a good idea. A lot of people don't do that. And kind of along those lines, it's really important that you actually take some time to validate your idea. Before you go investing, hundreds of hours and thousands of dollars in a prototype for your business, whether it be a course or whether it be a website or whether it be, a physical product that you want to create or anything like that, talk to people about whether or not, number one, they would pay you for it. Number two, whether they think it's a good idea. And so I kind of just touched on this a little bit, but it's really important that you not just talk to a random smattering of people. You need to decide, go back to the first mistake I said people make, not making a business plan, but you need to decide who it is who's your customer avatar, who it is that is actually going to purchase what you're trying to build. And go out and talk to those people and find out whether or not they would actually purchase this product or service from you. Because if the answer is, and you do this by asking them to buy from you, by the way. So, and there's numerous ways to do it. There's ideas in the 4-hour work week that might still be applicable to what you're trying to do, but go out and you need to ask people to invest in your business before you actually have a product to sell. And if you get people saying yes, that they will invest in you, then that's great. But if you get a lot of people that are just kind of like, no, I don't think I can do that, then maybe it's time to go back to the drawing board. Which kind of brings us to the last mistake I see entrepreneurs make, and that is they just don't have a clear path to how they're gonna make money. They just don't know when or how or if they're ever going to be profitable. And I hate to see that because I see so many people that have these hopes and dreams of where they wanna be and what they wanna do, and they just don't know how it's going to happen. And I ask people this all the time during my strategy calls. I ask people, you know, how are you going to make money? When do you plan on making money? Who's going to buy this? And they just don't know. So this kind of circles back to what I said at the beginning. You have to have that business plan. And if you can't answer the question of how you're going to make money or when that's going to happen, then I really would encourage you to take a step back and really maybe rewatch this video and say, okay, what do I need to do to be successful? What do I need to do to get to cash flow positive as quickly as possible? Because really that's what you need to do. The whole point of building a business is to be cash flow positive so that you can take cash out of the business. All right, it's gonna get loud in here now because my son just got home from school, my wife's about to walk in, the dogs are gonna go nuts, so I gotta finish up this video, but that's basically it. You need to have a path to revenue, to making money, to taking cash out of your business as quickly as possible. And if you're not sure how to do that, go back and watch the rest of this video about what I talked about. Hopefully that helps you. And hopefully this is something that you can learn from other entrepreneurs that I've talked to that have made all of these mistakes over the years, and so that you can actually be successful in your business, because that's what I want from you. So if you've got other questions about entrepreneurship and my journey and the mistakes that I've made, here's another video that I talk about right here about how I make money in my business. Thank you so much for watching, folks, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye. Peace out.